Hello, Jade.
Hello, Riley.
Hello.
Happy birthday, Riley.
Thank you. Well, it's the day after my birthday, but
It's
yeah,
the day after, but like this is when we record, so
yeah.
this is when I'm gonna
It's
put
the
it on the recording.
it's the happy birthday podcast for me.
Yeah.
This is the first podcast where I am in my 20s. I think that's neat.
Oh goodness, I'm so happy you're 20.
Does it make you feel less weird?
Yes. You
In my
see, what
20s.
was I? I was like 26, 25. No, I was like 20, 24, 25. And I started dating someone and they were 19. And that was fucking awful already. And
Well,
then they
I'm
had their
20 now.
birthday, they turned 20 and I felt better.
I'm 20 now, so that's cool. Anyway, I spent my birthday very nicely. I streamed Resident Evil, which I would have loved to stream today, but today is just too busy of things. Later tonight I got a board game night with some friends and their friends, and that'll be cool. But because of that, I can't stream today, which is a little lame, but you know, it's how it is. My Wi-Fi hasn't been
Imagineering
my Wi-Fi
friends.
hasn't been acting up today like it was last night.
See, today would have been the day to
It
stream.
would have been the data stream, but at least the Wi-Fi won't get messed up while I'm doing the board game night, so that's good.
Is it online?
Yeah. I don't have any IRL.
What board game?
I don't know.
You doing like
I think they were
a
talking about a game called
TTRPG or something?
No. It's on Tabletop Sim. So I think the game they were talking about most was Red Dragon Inn, which I don't know that game. The board games I like to play are like fucking Uno. My favorite board game as a kid was Risk, and
Risk is cool.
I liked
I
Risk.
I
I
I think I didn't
like
like
Monopoly.
Risk.
I like Monopoly.
I hate Monopoly.
I like Monopoly when you're playing it with people who like bullshit. You know, if the mood is right and everyone likes bullshit, then I think Monopoly is fun. And the
Is
thing is,
that
my dad and my brothers like bullshit, so it's fun to play Monopoly with them because it just turns into bullshit, and that's fun.
the thing is that Monopoly, most board games, but Monopoly most of all, creates this competitive energy in a room, and I don't you know me, not like,
Yeah,
how competitive am I?
you're not a competitive person at all.
Like, I like doing well, I like winning like any normal motherfucker, but there's a difference between like, hey, I won, yay, and like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm better because I won, I
yeah,
did so
yeah,
good, look at the, like, can't touch me sort of shit. And
yeah.
then you make people who lost the match or lost the game or lost a turn or did a bad turn in Monopoly or some shit, and it just turns ugly. And I've just seen too many families just implode on the Monopoly board. It's not worth it.
I don't.
Save your
I'm
family. Don't
not.
play Monopoly.
I'm not a competitive person either. Um,
You are.
no, I'm not. I am not a competitive person. When have I ever been competitive?
Hmm.
Exactly. None. Never ever. I'm not a competitive person.
Overwatch.
I'm not competitive in Overwatch though. I just don't like it when I fucking play against Sombra. That's it. That's it. And they nerfed her, so I probably won't get annoyed
You
at it
you know
anymore.
you know what the telltale signs are?
What are the telltale signs of competitiveness?
Calling out to somebody else how to play.
Do I do that?
I'm not saying it's necessarily negative. Some people do like, it's like when you tell David, hey, switch to this.
That's not
It's like,
competitiveness. That's not competitiveness. That's like doing like the bare minimum of like team
you're trying to
coordination.
meta when
But
David's like, I am
David,
like David's ranking in fucking silvers. David knows which characters,
David
like,
doesn't have a main. He says multiple
no, David's
times, pick the
versatile.
characters for me. He does that all the time. And most of the
Exactly,
time,
but I
I
mean,
don't tell him to change. I just tell him to change on specific maps, on specific game modes, on specific like
okay,
things,
okay, we
like
aren't
defending.
competitive. We are not competitive about how not competitive we are.
Shut up! Shut up! I'm not competitive.
I'm
I'm
the
not a.
least
It's
competitive. I am the least competitive.
no. I don't. I don't get angry in competition. I don't. I don't like get heated. I don't get determined to win. I'm fucking lazy as shit when it comes to competitions. Like you haven't seen me. Like I like yeah. I like to win, but like I won't try to win like ever if I can't. Like sometimes if it's like something I'm really like if I'm playing a game of Civilization with someone, I'm gonna try to win because like I know Civilization really well. So it's like, yeah, this is a game I like, I'm gonna try. But like I'm not I feel like a competitive person would try no matter what they're competing in, you know? But I don't do that. I only really try if it's something I like.
That's fair. I'm just giving you shit for it.
Well, aside from streaming last night, I also watched two movies.
You did.
I did.
You said one was called VHS 95.
94. VHS 94. Um so it's a horror movie by so like it's an indie horror
Oh,
movie.
it's part of the VHS franchise. I thought I recognized that.
Yeah. So I haven't actually seen any movie in the VHS franchise until this one. The only one I know is I've heard much about was this one and Viral, which I heard was bad.
Well, I mean, it's an anthology
Yeah.
thing, so it's not really like one follows on from
Yeah.
the other.
But
As far as I can tell,
it
looking
seems
through
to
your
be
thing.
Viral was kind of a shit show and then 94 revived it. Is what I'm seeing here, right?
Well, I mean,
Uh
look, anything that labels itself viral by title
yeah, no, that's like some
is
unfriended
kind of
shit.
losing a little bit of credibility because it only goes viral after the fact, right? Like
Right.
if you name something viral, you're implicitly stating that you think it will go viral, and that's just not how that shit works.
Right. Yeah. Um right.
It
So
looks interesting.
VHS 94 is fucking amazing and I don't want to spoil much of the movie because I feel a lot of these rely on the first like shock of seeing the
Yes, horror is like that.
yeah of the creatures
Good
that the
horror, at
feature
least.
all of these are creature features, right?
Creature features.
All
Okay.
of these feature a monster, a well, I probably shouldn't be showing them on screen because Jade, you speed read. Uh, so all of these
Yeah, like
follow
winter.
all of these follow a creature that sometimes they pop up at the very end, sometimes they pop up in the beginning, and we follow them. I think my favorite one is the first one, which is also I think the shortest, called Storm Drain, um, where we follow a news reporter who's doing a story on the Rat Man, and
Okay.
the Rat Man lives in the sewers, and they go in the sewers and they find the Rat Man, like, and it's really fun. It's got some of the best practical effects on a monster I've seen in a while. So long, so good. Then the second story is called Empty Wake, which I don't want to spoil too much about, but it's about a wake where no one showed up, and like it's just the funeral attendant woman being like, "Why the fuck is no one here for this body?" And then zombie, but I won't say much more than that because
Fair enough.
the zombie design is so
Zombies are
fucking good.
very difficult to do in horror,
I
I think.
I
Very
think
difficult to do well.
that
Romero really just struck a chord with his particular take at the right time,
yeah,
and that since he's done that, everything after the fact has to sort of look back
compared to
and
Romero.
nod to Romero.
I
Because even
think
like if you make a zombie movie where the zombie outbreak starts in like the 80s,
right.
like the Romero movies were around for like what, 20 years by then?
Yeah, I think Night of the Living Dead was 53.
Yeah, so like 30 years. So by that point, like the popular culture.
Oh, no, it was 1968. Why the fuck did I think it was 1953?
Yeah, but it was around for over a decade.
Yeah.
By that time, most people
68's
should
a
have
lot later
some
than I thought
kind
it was.
of familiarity with zombies, right?
How the
Because
fuck
he
did I
didn't
think?
just release this one. This was part of a franchise.
Yeah, yeah. There was Night of the Living Dead. There was Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Um. Wait, hold
I
on.
will say, on the topic of those movies, though, the best remake I've ever seen of any movie
It's gonna
is
be
the
the
Dawn
Zack
of the
Snyder.
Dead
Yeah.
remake.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead,
Mm.
and then there was the.
No, Land of the Dead in '05 was a sequel to the remake of Dawn
Oh,
of the
was it?
Dead. Yeah. The Dawn of the Dead remake was in the early 2000s.
So Night of the Living Dead, and then Dawn of the Dead, which is the one in the mall, which I still need to
Yeah,
see. People say this is like the best zombie movie ever. I still need to see it.
yes, but the remake
Day of the
is
Dead, which is the one with the
one of the best
soldiers.
remakes ever made.
Land of the Dead,
Just
which for some reason he made this movie. I think Romero,
yes,
but he didn't make
Romero
the
made
movie.
that
It's a
movie.
sequel to you. Um, Wait, is this the fourth of
What
his
is
six Living Dead
it?
movies? I don't think this is a
Why is
sequel
it
to
not
the
coming up first?
what?
Because this came out after the Dawn of the Dead
I don't
remake.
think it's a sequel to it. I think it just came out at the same around the same time.
Where's the remake?
Right here, the 2004 remake, Dawn
There
of
you
the
go.
Dead.
See, oh, Dawn of the Dead came out in '04.
I
Land
don't
of the
think
Dead
this
came
has
out in
anything to do with the
'05.
sequel. I think this is just a
But
separate
it's the same.
movie.
Yeah, but it's still within the same franchise, and
Yeah,
the
but this is
zombie.
like a remake. This is like the Rob Zombie Halloween, and then this is the Halloween 2018 movie, basically, where this is its own
God, it
fucking
gets
thing.
confusing. Or
This,
do you
this
want to know
series is
what's a
confusing as fuck.
confusing? Do you know what's a confusing one to follow
James
now?
Gunn and Zack Snyder. That's a
I
duality. Oh
know
my god, that's a
it's weird,
duality.
right? But like, holy shit, did that movie? Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Highly recommend.
Is this
But
hold
the
on? There's
weirdest,
been a zombie movie that's been in my. Oh, you make your point. I'll make mine after because I'll sidetrack you.
the weirdest, the hardest one now to follow is the Evil Dead franchise.
Oh yeah, there's Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness, Ash
But
vs
that's
the
the
Evil Dead
thing. One
TV
and
show,
two is technically a
and then the
sequel to
Evil
one,
Dead remake.
a remake of one.
Oh yeah, this two is a remake of one.
Yeah. And then there's
Yeah,
three, which is Army of Darkness,
right. Ash
which
vs Evil
then
Dead, the TV show.
follows into Ash versus the Evil Dead. And you see they had a remake of the
Yes,
Evil Dead,
yes,
right?
yes.
That
I
remake,
watched it when I was at well, I watched part of it when I was at a haunted house in a place called Gravity Hill, the haunted house
right.
was Gravity Hill, and then they were playing like a big screen and they had that movie on. I saw like half of it while I
But
was on
they
lunch.
also had a sequel to that remake,
Oh, I didn't
which
know about the
wasn't
sequel.
really a sequel.
I didn't know
It
about
was
that.
just, yeah, there's another Evil Dead movie.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can get it up here.
There's been a zombie movie that's been in my head for like a while. Um, where I don't know if anyone in the audience or if even you can tell me it, but I remember there being I was a kid and
Yeah,
on the TV was a scene where there were like cars going through a huge like it was the middle of the night and there was a massive like endless waves of zombies and cars were like big trucks or whatever were like driving through it. And I remember a chainsaw cutting through the car's roof. Right. I don't remember
right.
much else. I remember a chainsaw and a car and a bunch of zombies surrounding the car.
That sounds scary. So
Yeah, I don't remember the
this
movie
is
though. I only saw it once when I was a child.
this is the other Evil Dead movie, Evil
Evil
Dead
Dead Rise. I
Rise.
never knew this movie existed.
Right. So there's Evil Dead, the sort of remake
Yeah,
sequel, Army of Darkness, which then goes on to Ash versus the Evil Dead. There's these two,
right.
and what they were gonna do, what they were planning to do, because the guy who plays Ash,
Mark no, Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell has said he's not coming back for Ash. He's too old. Like
Yeah.
he's decided like okay, like there was a time where I could play old Ash, but now like even that's ridiculous.
Right.
Like it's starting to get silly now. But what they were planning to do is actually have, because they already have time travel,
Right.
they were going to bring these two universes together and have the girl who survived the first Evil Dead, the ones who survived Evil Dead Rise, and Ash with like Army of Darkness, that crew, and
Mm.
actually tie them all together.
Huh.
That would have been so good.
I just noticed too that the director for that movie, the Evil Dead remake, is the same who did Alien Romulus, Fede Alvarez.
Fede Alvarez.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
cool.
think I know this name very well. What you do?
Uh,
Don't Breathe. You. That movie was. I
yeah,
did
but
not
he
like
did
the
he
ending.
did the 2022 Texas Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre. He did Alien Romulus. His
Can
directorial
people
debut as
stop?
a is his film debut was Evil Dead.
Can people stop making the Texas Chainsaw
Oh,
Massacre?
yeah, that's definitely a series that needs to just die.
That is the most dead fucking franchise in horror ever. That franchise to me is more dead than fucking Alien versus Predator.
No, the
Jesus.
one that's most
Like
dead is Halloween, but then other than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is
I
one that
look,
never even started. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre has one good movie, two is silly, and then the rest are just like, why? This just shouldn't exist. This is like the
they
worst.
kept like I remember. I think in the 2000s sometime they
They
remade
did a
it
remake, yes, with
twice.
Arlie Ermy in
They
one of
did
them. Army, whatever
two
the fuck his name is.
remakes of
Army
Texas
Hammer. What the fuck
Chainsaw
is the
Massacre.
what's the guy's name? Is it Arlie Ermy or
One of
Army
them had
Hammer? Are
like
those two different
Jessica
people?
Biel in.
Arlie Ermy. This is the guy I'm
I
thinking
don't
of,
know.
right?
Armie Hammer and Arlie Ermy are two very different people.
Who the fuck is the other guy? Who the fuck is that
Who's
Army? Who
the
the fuck is Army Hammer?
Armie Hammer?
Who the fuck is this guy? He was in the Lone Ranger? Was he the Lone Ranger?
No, he was the yeah,
Okay,
he's
well I
that
got that guy
guy.
confused. Anyway, Arlie Ermy, he's in the Texas Chainsaw remakes.
Yeah, this is a very
It
different
is
guy. Arlie
very
Ermy
different.
is an actor by accident. You know how he got into film.
I do not know, no.
So his first film was Full Metal Jacket,
Right.
where he was actually in the military and he was a consultant on the movie for Stanley Kubrick for the military scenes,
No, his
especially
first
the
movie
drill
was The
scenes in the
Boys in
beginning.
Company C, and then it was Apocalypse Now, where you had an uncredited role as a pilot. And then it was Up from Deaths, where he played a guy
Yeah,
named Lee, and then it was Purple Hearts, where he played Gunnery Sergeant Gunny. And then he was in Full Metal Jacket.
yeah, but he was still more of a. You can see these first roles. It's very much what you put a person in the actual military in.
Yeah,
He was also part of the what's it called? Consultants.
yeah,
Anyway, Kubrick didn't think that he could do the role, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Somebody else was supposed to do the role. So he actually did the entire monologue in a bathroom, like on camera, and then convinced Kubrick to give him the role, and that shot him into stardom.
right.
Like he just became that guy when he'd pop up in movies. It's like, oh shit, that guy.
Right. Yeah, and then he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2006. And that was one of his last big movies. His last movie was The Watch. And then before that was An OK Place to Eat. Before that was Toy Story 3 and Solstice. His last role was, I think, a TV show named Military Makeover, where he was the host.
Mm,
Anyway,
military
let's get back to what we were
makeover.
talking about here with the movies, VHS.
That's not Hammer.
So yeah, VHS's second bit has a really good zombie scene where I think zombies get to be shit when they're like just kind of not like the way this short does it is there's one zombie and one person in a room, and the zombie has its face damaged so it can't see. That's like the thing here,
Okay.
and that's
I
how
feel like
that's
that's
where
an
the horror comes
interesting.
from, and I think
I feel like
that's a great way to make a zombie work is do that type of thing.
depend. It really does depend on how you do the zombie and the sort of execution of it. But it's a
I
very
I think it works.
interesting. Do you know, like, especially with horror, what you find in a lot of these horror movies is awesome concepts,
Yeah, and then it's just horrible
conceptually amazing
execution.
stuff, right? But execution-wise, horrendous.
Right.
And like the best example of that I can give you, and you'll agree, is The Purge.
Yeah, I absolutely
The
agree.
first movie, The
The first
Purge,
Purge movie is
is
horrible.
here's the thing, right? Here's the concept. One day out of a year, the entire country goes full fucking criminal,
And then it focuses
right?
on
Everybody's
one
allowed to do
family
it.
instead of like
But
the whole world,
the
and it's
the movie they decide to make
the home
is a home
invasion. The
invasion.
fucking
It's a
home
home
invasion movie.
invasion horror.
Yeah,
They like they could have just remade what's it, Panic Room. Like
yeah.
you had such an amazing concept, and where they went with it eventually got kind of dumb, I think. But
Yeah, no, the issue with the later movies is they actually do what the first movie should have been, but then it just sucks because the writing's bad. Like it's just a bad
yeah,
movie now.
it all failed in execution. So it really shows you that no matter how good your actual concept
It all
is,
is all
if
an
you don't
execution.
have the execution, because here's an opposite example, right? Rob Zombie remakes a Halloween movie, and he makes it like exactly how you'd expect a Halloween movie. It's all the beats of Halloween. It's all the same beats.
Except now it's got
But
Rob
the
Zombie's mess.
execution is nailed.
Yeah,
He just absolutely kills the execution. And
even if I
that
think the
like
movie's not good, but yeah, he
yeah,
he did nail that execution. But yeah, I think that these movies, at least all these sketches here, the concepts were like because they're short stories, they're not like full
yeah.
ass things. So I feel like a lot of them
Because
are
you
those.
know
Here's one sentence for our concept, and then we'll fucking kick the shit out of it, and it's awesome.
this is very much feeling like a spiritual successor to like Twilight Zone
Yes, yes.
or like
The
what's the other one with
Tales of the Crypt.
the Tales from the Crypt? Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved Tales from the Crypt growing up. That
Yes,
stuff was
I was a Twilight
fucking
Zone kid.
amazing. You get
Anyway,
to see the one with Meatloaf.
I do. I do. Anyway,
Meatloaf.
the third the next I forgot to mention there's the veggie masher, but this is just like a joke skit. Like that's just a joke skit. It's like a
Horror
quick
can be
it's
funny.
a quick infomercial like that's like a minute long that plays after Storm Drain ends. Because Storm Drain ends with a news broadcast and then it cuts to this commercial and it's like a really fucking stupid like vegetable machine that just ruthlessly murders all the vegetables. It's just so silly. Like it just endlessly just doesn't stop. It's like a fucking hydraulic press moving at a fucking 100 miles an hour for vegetables. It's like a minute long and it's silly. Um. Anyway, I don't know why I mentioned that. I just mentioned it because it's
Horror
on
can
here,
be
and
funny.
I want to be thorough when I mention this.
Well, I mean, what
The,
it is that you know there is comedy in horror.
yeah, no, this
Have you
thing
seen
absolutely
Army of
is comedy
Darkness?
with horror. I have not seen it, but I would say
Army of
Harmony
Darkness
is yeah,
is
it's silly.
ridiculously funny.
Yes.
It is
Um,
funnier than most comedies, like straight comedies.
this movie I think had a lot of good comedic bits, especially this fourth one here, Terror. I'll get to that in a bit though. The third story is Subject, which is I think the longest and also the weakest of the four, but I don't think it's bad. It relies a lot
Going into
on
this much detail on a 3-year-old like horror movie,
yeah, I want to go into
3-year-old
well, I mean, a
anthology
lot of
horror
it
movie.
they're talking about so far has been tangents onto other things.
True.
Um, so the third story is Subject. I think this one is the weakest, but still good. It's like the other four rely a lot on practical effects. This one is I pretty much entirely CGI done. Like all the environments, all the rooms, I'm 90% sure are computer generated, but they still look good. Like you can have an entire environment be computer generated and it look convincing and fun, especially with the filter over it, like a VHS filter. Like that's what the backroom series on YouTube made by I think Kane Pixels. That series and the oldest view are both entirely um computer generated and yet they look amazing and are amazing little YouTube horror series. That's kind of the vibe I got from the subject, except that one the subject is about a doctor turning people into robot humanoids. Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, and it's from the perspective of one of his victims. So
Uh,
like a lot of the horror comes from people reacting to what she looks like and not knowing what she looks like until like halfway through it. And then I think after that point it kind of loses a little bit of steam. It feels very Resident Evil-y with how schlocky and crazy it is. You have like Indonesian cops shooting at the fucking thing as it's like going through like a first person shooter segment. It's very silly and over the top. Um and I feel like it
Sounds
kind
like
of
it.
loses you a bit,
I
but
can't say
I
much
think
because
it
I haven't seen it,
yeah.
but
And then the last one is Terror, which I think is the funniest one. It's a bunch of Nazi militiamen kidnapping a vampire and wanting to use it to do a terrorist attack on the ATF. But then the vampire breaks out. So you just have like this comedy of
zero
like
context.
we are the American future. We are going to liberate this country from the demonic evil of this land. And then they're all like pissing about drunk with a vampire and like blowing its head off every day and shit. And it the way they film it too. It feels like a fucking documentary of these like Nazis, and it's really silly and funny and like it's one of those ones where like every single character you're looking at is a horrible human being, so you don't mind the fact that they're getting ripped to shreds by a fucking vampire. So it's fun. I absolutely recommend this movie to everyone. It is an amazing movie, a great horror movie, great effects. Holy shit. I was like, there was a part at the end of Storm Drain where a guy's face fucking melts, and oh my god, the gore on that was amazing. I did not expect that to even happen at all. Like when it happened, even though I told you when it's gonna happen, I feel like when it happens, it's still gonna be like a whoa. Right? It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I recommend it to everyone. Uh, but then I kind of ruined my night by watching Captain America: Civil War. Jade, you said you were gonna surprise me on your take on this movie. Where are you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't watch it.
you didn't watch it.
So here's what
What's your
happened,
take
right?
on it?
So Civil War came at around the time. I think I actually pulled this up.
2016.
So here's the franchise, right?
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta move my screen.
You got Iron Man, you got
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, First Avenger, The Avengers, all solid movies, right? I was in it.
Thor.
I was in it for all of
Yeah.
this. I love like maybe Captain America was a little bit cold on me, but mostly because I'm not like the conceptually Captain America just doesn't do it.
I think MCU Captain America is pretty well done. I'm not gonna lie.
But
Mostly because
like
of
obviously you know what
what's his
my
name?
stand on
Chris
Iron Man
Evans.
3 is.
You
It's my
love Iron Man
favorite of the
3.
three. It's really good. But then Dark World, I watched Winter Soldier and Guardians, and I
I
watched
love
Age
it.
of Ultron. I only
Ugh.
watched Age of Ultron because I thought they'd do more with the actor that played the villain, James Spader.
Right. I think
He
Ultron was
is,
criminally fucked over in the MCU.
I think he was criminally fucked over because he is an absolutely fantastic villain.
I think his
Like this,
voice work was good. It's just the dialogue he had to say was fucking horrible.
he was given such awful dialogue,
Ultron,
honestly.
MCU
But
Ultron
like,
is
look, you
dog
know the
shit.
Blacklist? He kept the Blacklist on TV for 10 years. This guy. Like, the Blacklist was not this good. He was this good. That's the honest truth of it. Like, Boston Legal was a spin-off to Ally McBeal from back in the day. He made this show. He made this whole show. Like he was fucked in the MCU.
Yeah.
But by the time
Ant
Civil
Man's
War came
fun.
out, we're hitting stage 3 here.
Yeah.
Stage 3 is starting to metastasize. It's getting bad. I
Uh
fucking checked out. I was gone. I fucking hated it.
I don't think
Anything that
Phase Three
I
is when it
saw
gets bad. I think
anything I saw after Age of Ultron was because other people dragged me into it. Like
really.
Doctor Strange, I was dragged into. Spider-Man Homecoming, I was dragged into. Ragnarok, I was dragged into. What else did I see? Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, I
For
skipped the
me, for
rest.
me, after Infinity War is when
Oh,
I
and I
checked
saw
out.
Far From Home. No, I didn't see Far From Home. I did see Far From Home. I didn't see any of the Stage 4. I've skipped all of these. Aha! I am free!
You're free. I only saw one of those in Phase 4, and it's the Spider-Man one.
Now there's Phase
And
5.
I saw Guardians 3 and Deadpool and
You
Wolverine.
probably saw
I saw
that.
yeah. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine and Guardians 3.
Guardians 3, Stage 6, fucking future. Can these stop, please? Please, please, please. Am I the only person who really does honestly want, like, no more Marvel? At least for like a decade.
Um
Like, I don't even, I didn't
no.
even go back for Deadpool 3, if I'm being honest. Like, I, I, I don't care anymore. Am I the only person who has that take? It's not even because
No, you're not.
it's not even a critique of the movies anymore because I don't watch them. It's just,
Like you just want other things to come in already.
yeah, I want. Do you know what I miss? Here we are on the topic of filmmaking. So here's the thing I truly miss is the mid-budget movie.
Oh yeah, I've talked about this before too. I miss
Right.
yeah.
So there's these movies that are all like
Triple budget,
blockbusters,
fucking triple digit
triple A,
millions of
big
dollars.
budget, like money, 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 money. And you get the indie sort of projects or the Netflix type projects and stuff like that, which are very much low budget. But we're missing on theatrical mid-budget movies. Shit, just like what's it? The Shawshank Redemption cost like how much? Like for real, what happened to just stories? We don't tell good stories anymore. We make shit explode. This all started with the fucking Transformers
Nah,
era.
it started. I mean, maybe it did. I don't know.
Look, we've always had blockbusters. Ever since the first Star Wars got released, we've had blockbusters, right? But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying get rid of the modern blockbuster. I'm just saying maybe like take some of those good concepts and give them less budget
I
and
think
actual
I
artists.
think that what you want only ever happens with A24, right?
A24.
Do you not know A24? They made like the people who produce like they give money to like independent filmmakers for like horror movies and shit like Midsummer and shit.
Oh,
That yeah, mid like A24 like what you want always only ever happens with horror movies, I feel. Like
that's true. But
people like never really
it's
get to
because
make like thrillers anymore or
it's
like
because horror
dramas.
movies they're not expected to throw budget at the wall.
No, horror
Horror
movies are
movies are
very low
allowed
budget.
to have nobody actors and bad costumes and like obviously Midsummer doesn't like Midsummer's not an example of that. But
Well, no,
look,
A24
Ex
A20
Machina you'd think would cost a lot, but think of how much money they save by having a cast of three
right. I want to pull up the A24 movies so you can like get a vibe.
or four.
They're not like um
I
trash
got them,
movies.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
you
got them,
have
yeah.
so I want the whole fucking list, not like just the list of the best here. List of A24 films, yeah. Um they don't just do horror movies, but I always ever hear them talk about horror movies. They have a lot more than I thought. They did Uncut
The
Gems.
Witch.
I didn't
I
even
still
realize
want
that
to
was
watch
produced
The
by Uncut.
Witch.
Yeah, The Witch, that's a big one. I think they did The Lighthouse too, which The Lighthouse is great.
They
Uh
did the Disaster Artist rip.
well they didn't do the disastrous. They give the money to
I
the
know, but
director.
like, can you imagine giving them money?
Yeah, yeah, there's a Lighthouse. Robert Eggers.
The
I'm pretty sure all of
Lighthouse.
Robert Eggers' movies are under there. All
Robert
two of them.
Eggers. He's an odd director, isn't he? No, The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman.
And then Nosferatu, which comes out later this year.
Wasn't The Northman a bomb?
No, it just wasn't a horror movie, and people were surprised that it wasn't a horror movie. I don't think it was a bomb. Oh, it was a bomb. Well, I
It
guess
was a bomb.
every movie nowadays is a bomb.
No, but like that's still not great
I
for
remember people
like
saying
what
this
is.
movie was still like his style. It's just people, I guess, they just didn't want to see it. I don't know. Oh yeah, A24 also
Uh,
made Civil War, that movie that came out earlier this year.
I don't think the actor they got was a big enough pull. I think these are
Maybe
all beloved actors and
Alexander
actresses. All of them.
Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Blaze Bang, Anna Taylor Joy, Gustav Lind, Ethan Hawke, Ethan Hawke,
Ethan Hawke,
Bjork,
Bjork,
and Willem
Willem Dafoe.
Dafoe.
Like
He fucking
this had
loves
a
Willem
proper
Dafoe.
cast,
I'm
and like
90% sure that Robert Eggers' favorite fucking actor to use is Willem Dafoe.
I mean, look,
I would
if
use
I
Willem
can tell
Dafoe.
you multiple directors who have favorite actors. You got Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
And you have Quentin
Uh,
Tarantino and Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Quentin Tarantino also had that relationship with Kill Bill lady,
Yeah. Yeah,
Uma Thurman.
Willem Dafoe is in 3 of Robert Eggers' 4 movies. The only one Willem Dafoe isn't in is The Witch.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. To be honest, if I could cast Willem Dafoe in
I
every
would
movie, I
cast Willem
know I
Dafoe in
would.
every fucking movie
I
ever.
would have like what I still remember the famous quote, well, not famous quote, I'd say, but like the quote from Kevin Smith, where he believes Ben Affleck is the best actor in the world, and that like no matter what the role is, he would always recommend Ben Affleck, like up to the point where Ben Affleck could play the shark in Jaws. No, fuck you. Willem Dafoe could play the shark in Jaws.
uh,
Tell me I'm wrong though.
I don't
You
know.
just hear the Jaws sound, the dun dun, and slowly Willem Dafoe comes into view, just
I
smiling. That classic Willem Dafoe Green Goblin smile.
love Willem Dafoe so much. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love him.
There are just some actors who, even if they are in the worst movie possible, I'll sit there and say
Is
and
he
praise
even
their
in the
performance.
worst
Willem
movies
Dafoe,
ever? What is his career?
he's been in some bad
What is his
movies.
career?
He's
First
been
movie
in
was
some bad
Heaven's
movies.
Gate. He has been in some bad
The Last Temptation of Christ,
movies. He
where
played
he
Jesus.
played Jesus. Willem Dafoe
That's a movie to
as
see.
Jesus the Christ.
That's a movie to see. Spider
Speed
Man.
2.
He was in
Speed 2.
Speed too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo. He was the cool fish in Finding Nemo, and everyone realized that. I only saw Finding Nemo once.
I think Steve Zissou is a shit movie.
Spider Man.
I know
Steve's.
that's a hot take, but I don't like Steve Zissou.
He was in Triple X State of the Union. American Dreams. Inside
I think he
Man.
was the bad guy. Antichrist.
Oh, was that the one? Wait, where is it? Is that the one where the elevator? No, 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 no. What am I thinking of? What's that movie?
Daybreakers.
What was that movie? It
Daybreakers
was
was
produced
good.
by M Night Shyamalan,
Oh god.
where they're in an elevator with the devil.
Mm.
Devil, 2010. This movie, yeah. Yeah, this movie sucks ass.
I could well look when you attach certain names to a product. I can already sometimes tell like no,
It was a story by him, but it
no.
was the screenplay by Brian Nelson was from a story by M Night Shyamalan, starring Chris Messina, Logan Marshall Green, Jeffrey Arend, Jana Nokovich, Jenny O'Hara, and Bokeem Woodbine.
I'd like to bring up, since you mentioned this elevator thing, I'd like to bring up the most surprisingly good horror movie I've ever seen.
What is it?
Dark Floors.
Dark Floors. I forgot Willem Dafoe was in the Death Note movie. All right, Dark Floors.
Yeah, I got it up here.
Oh.
That's it. So here's the thing, is that it's an English language Finnish horror film that made by and features the member of the Finnish hard rock Lordi playing the monsters.
That's cool.
Lordi, just for reference, you know, look
That's awesome.
like they are the full like theatrical monster like banned. This is how they appear in public. So this horror movie is one of the most surprisingly good horror movies I've ever seen, with a twist at the end that had me fucking losing my shit. And it all starts like the guy's there with his daughters in a wheelchair. She's nonverbal. She's like, she just draws her pictures. And they get into an elevator. The guy, the daughter, nurse, like a couple of people, and the elevator gets stuck. And from that moment on, it's just them. They have to go through the floors of the hospital to get out. And it gets progressively more horror from there. And I will not spoil any further than that, because this movie is possibly one of the most surprisingly damn good horror movies I've ever seen. And I don't think enough people know about it.
I think that would be
I
fun.
just don't. This is an amazingly good movie.
I think it could be a fun movie to watch together.
It is exactly what it sounds like, though. It like 2008 English language Finnish horror film. And this
Right.
band is the first band to ever have a horror metal song win Eurovision.
Ooh,
This is the
that's
first
an
band to ever
accomplishment.
win Eurovision as a metal band.
That's an accomplishment.
Where's their thing?
I
Where's
saw
their thing?
Eurovision somewhere on the list there. 2006, 2008. There you go. You're on there. There you go.
Yeah. Winning Eurovision held in Athens, from the first Finnish group to win the contest, the first rock metal act to
Of
win.
course, it was fucking Finland to win the
Power
first medal.
metal.
The first medal.
I think after the podcast, like once we stop recording, I'm gonna play you the song that won them
I would like to hear that. I swear to you, if you
Eurovision,
put it
and you
on and
will see how
it's fucking power metal, I'm gonna
you
put a
have no
fist to
idea
a
what
wall.
you're in for. I recommend everybody who listens to this podcast right after it finishes, listen to like put a link to the video in the description. We will do these things. You gotta hear this, and then go watch the movie Dark Floors.
All right, that is for sure. Something we're gonna watch together at some point in that movie. Um,
So we were on the topic of
oh, we
Marvel,
were,
and I know
yeah.
which tab you have open next,
Hold on.
which would be Dave, somebody who's
Yeah,
in the Marvel series. And I
yeah.
wanted to mention
You wanted
just
to
like
mention something
what
about him?
happened to Dave Bautista.
He lost
Dave
weight.
Bautista is a different person.
He lost a lot of weight.
It's not even just the lost weight, it's the different attitude
Look at him.
altogether.
Look at him. He's slaying. He does look like a
Like
drag queen.
a little bit, but at the same time, if you look like pull up images of him in his wrestling days.
he's
Right?
uh
Like he
he's a
wasn't
big
he
guy.
wasn't fat. He was never fat
He was just
in
big.
these days. But he was a big guy. You'd imagine he was built that way, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at him now, it's like you realize like, oh shit, he's not actually built that way. Human beings aren't built that way.
He does have
Because
a
he
big head.
says at this point in his life, he feels healthier than he ever did. And looking back at a picture like of him in his wrestling days compared to now, shows you this shit ain't necessarily healthy.
Yeah. It's not. No. I love Dave Batista. I do genuinely
But
love him.
he's got a much calmer attitude. I think I saw a headline somewhere. I didn't actually
He
click
was
and
in
go
Blade
into the
Runner.
shit. But he basically
I need to see
something
this
along
movie.
the lines of like he definitely doesn't want to go down the same route as The Rock.
No, God, no. I hope he doesn't. I
And
hope he
he
doesn't.
stated explicitly that there is nothing in the world that will make him go back to wrestling. Like he basically said like no, he'd rather be bankrupt than
Wow.
go back to wrestling.
Good for him. Good for him. I I want to say this. I would love to have this be a credit on my Wikipedia page. A theme park
Um,
attraction section. That's crazy. Not many people have that next to like theme park attractions, video games, and filmography. That's crazy. Like all three. That's a triple whammy. Also controversy. Some steroid doping controversies. That's there.
Well, I mean, like, look at it. Look at the guy. Look at the guy. Honestly, look at the
Mm.
guy. If you look at him now and then, especially. I didn't know he
Yeah.
was in the Riddick movie.
No, neither did I.
Also, another one that I think is. Oh, I didn't watch this one. I watched Chronicles. I watched Pitch Black and I watched Chronicles. Pitch Black is an amazing horror movie with an amazing concept executed perfectly. The rest of the franchise is awful. It says
Uh,
action horror film. It's not even an action horror. It's very much like a lot of it is just things being very tense. It's all packed at the ending, if that
right.
makes sense.
Like an explosion of tensions, everything popping
Yeah,
out.
but a lot
Mm.
of the movie is just talking.
He was a
I like
knock at the
movies.
cabin.
I know that it's probably weird to say it in this way, but I like movies where people talk. Like,
Yeah, which is why I
like you
feel
can
like you
put
would
two characters
fucking
in
love
a
Better Call
room.
Saul.
Uh,
You need to watch this fucking show. You need to watch it.
I've seen Breaking Bad.
This is the talking show. This is the show where characters fucking talk. It's Breaking Bad, but replace every fucking action scene with a talking scene.
Did you watch Breaking
Of course I
Bad?
watched Breaking Bad.
Right. So
Breaking
Breaking
Bad
Bad's
is,
not that much of an action.
it's not, no, but take all the bits of action it does have. Like, when Walter throws the fucking explosion meth
Walter.
on the ground. Or when there's the gunfight at the end with Nazis. Replace all that shit. Or whenever scene comes up with like the fucking like a shootout or some
Is
shit.
that
There are like four
Soul?
shootouts in this entire
But
show.
look, this is a thing that comes down to the person, right? And what it comes down to is that I don't find Saul to be that intriguing a character
But
to me
that's the
personally.
thing. That's the thing. This show doesn't focus on him as Saul. It's the build up to how he got there.
When something's character driven, right?
Right.
You got to be invested in the characters to some degree, and I really never got invested in the Saul character. If
Which
any character
that
from Breaking Bad I would have watched a spin-off for is Jesse.
I would not want to because he's the main focus of Breaking Bad alongside Walter. So like we already had Jesse's story. Watching his story. I mean, you have El Camino as like a finale to Jesse, but
I know, which I thought was great.
I
I
love
think
El
there's enough.
Camino.
Like I just,
I think you would like the
for me,
show.
it's like me and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Like I'm a massive, massive fan of
This
Evangelion,
is
but you
nothing
won't
like the
see me
Evangelion
watching all.
spin-offs.
No, but like what I'm saying is that I'm a massive fan of Evangelion, but you won't see me seeking out every Evangelion
Right, I get what you
retelling,
mean. I get what you
remake,
mean.
redo. Like I know when I've had enough of a franchise.
I think you would
If I
greatly enjoy
think
this
the
show.
story to be told that I was interested in, yeah, but I never connected with the Soul character.
So now
Maybe
listen, now
what's the
listen.
other guy?
Mike
The
Ermintrout?
Walter guy.
Mike
Yeah,
yeah,
Mike.
he's the other main character of this show. And half of the series' plot focuses on him. The other half is on Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, whatever you want to call him. Because the thing is, the show does not follow Saul Goodman. It
Yeah,
follows Jimmy
Jimmy.
McGill becoming Saul Goodman, and he doesn't become Saul Goodman until season 6, the end of the show. It's entirely about Jimmy McGill, and I think Bob
It's
Odenkirk
a cool concept.
does his
He's
fucking
great.
best. This is Bob Odenkirk's best role ever. Not as Saul Goodman, as Jimmy McGill. This is the best show on television that is the best show ever, in my opinion. This is the
All
best
right.
television show ever.
I'll put it on the back burner.
I would love to watch this together because alongside a rewatch of Breaking Bad. Like watching Better Call Saul into a remake of Breaking Bad because this is a prequel to Breaking Bad. So like going into
Yeah.
that, I think that'd be fun. And plus El
There are
Camino again.
flash forwards.
Um,
Not very
in the
often,
last
but they
season,
are.
in the last season
And the first.
of Better Call Saul.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
few
Well,
episodes
yeah,
at least.
they do a cold open in the first episode where it shows where he goes after Breaking Bad. He's like working at a Cinnabon in like Wyoming or wherever the fuck. Um, they do, yeah, that happens. But like most of the show is set. The only time flash forwards really ever kind of happen is towards the later half, and again, they're still um flash. They're not flash forwards to Breaking Bad. They're flash forwards to post Breaking Bad. There's only three.
Yes.
There's only three Breaking Bad moments. There's one where it shows the when like he's out in the desert after getting kidnapped by Walt and Jesse. There's one where it's one of the characters of Better Call Saul, Kim, after her and Jimmy have their falling out, she leaves and has a talk with Jesse randomly because Jesse was there with it's a whole thing with like, remember that one guy who got fucking killed in episode 1 of Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jesse's like drug partner, whatever he was. Yeah, it's a whole thing with that guy, and Jesse was there and the two of them had a talk, and then the last
Breaking
cameo.
Bad is still undeniably some of
Oh,
the
Breaking
best
Bad is my
television
second
ever
favorite
made.
show of all time. The two of these shows
But but
together are the best.
but specifically Breaking Bad is considered like one of the best
Yes.
pieces of
Yes.
television
You
ever made.
know, yeah.
And
I
what they've
fully
also
understand it.
said is
Crawl
that
Space has
Breaking Bad is
Crawl Space
the
is one of my favorite
end
episodes of
of
television.
that level of television.
Um mm,
Like beforehand, like there was The Wire
yeah,
and
yeah, I know I know what you're saying,
Sopranos.
but this Better Call Saul is a legacy of that.
Yes,
I don't know if
yes. But
this
like,
this in my
remember,
opinion,
Better Call Saul is
this
still attached to that franchise.
yes, so this really is the end of that style of show,
Yes,
of that legacy. This is the end of it. Not Better Call Saul. This is the end of that legacy.
but when people think of the ending, like the big finale point, it will be when
It would
Walter at the end does his thing. You know, I'm not gonna spoil it because like people
It's
still
fucking
care. That's a
everyone knows the
throwback
end of
show.
Breaking Bad. Everybody
It's not
knows the
though.
end of Breaking Bad.
It's not though. Let's give them that.
That's not the most important part of Breaking Bad anyway.
No, it's not. But it is something that I think can be spared.
I do think my first watch through of Breaking Bad, because I watched it years after it ended. I watched it for the first time in 2020. Or 2021, I think. The first time I watched Breaking Bad was probably the most the most special watch through of anything ever, in my opinion. Like, I was watching it and just completely, like, sometimes when I watch a show, there'll be an episode or two that I half pay attention to. I think until like mid season 5, I was like locked the fuck in. Not, and like I think there was one episode of season 5 I half paid attention to. It was the one just before the train heist.
Ah.
I think I half paid attention to that episode, and it didn't matter. Like, it didn't change my
There was
interpretation of the
look, there
story.
was certain
Mid
beats
season 5 was a little rough for me,
there was
but it was
certain
still good.
beats in Breaking Bad, especially towards the end, where some things felt more rushed than they should have been, and
Yeah,
some things
I think
felt
that's because in
like it
Breaking
took
Bad,
longer
they
than they should
in
have.
Breaking Bad, they've admitted that they kind of just made it up as they went along. Like at the beginning of season 5, when we see that Walt has the machine gun in his trunk, they said that they didn't have a plan of what the
It
machine gun
was
was going to
just
be
a
used
cool
for.
shot.
Yeah, so
It
that's
was just
why
a
I
cool
think a lot of
shot,
that
and then it
happened.
was like the oh fuck moment of like, okay, we have to actually think of something here.
Yeah, but the thing with Better Call Saul is that I don't think they did that. Where they made it up as they went along. I think they had a plan for the season before going into it, which is good. Um,
It is
the
good,
Better
but it's
Call Saul
also by
has
nature of the fact that they knew where the ending point
yeah,
was.
they also knew. Yeah, they knew because it's a prequel. Um, Better Call Saul has its slumps. I think season 4 is a bit of a slump, but not like a bad slump. Like it's definitely the weakest season, but not in like a bad
So
way. It's like the season 2 of
aside
Breaking
from,
Bad, where it's like
I'm
it's clearly
curious.
the least one.
Aside from Better Call Saul, I'm curious. What other notable spin-offs would you say are there?
Spin-offs of what? Like anything?
Like TV shows or
I don't
there's been quite a few
know.
over
I
the
don't
years.
know. Thing is, I'm not so in tune with television as a lot of other people are. I've
Well, I mean,
seen
television's a
it
dying
is,
medium.
but I do want to go back and watch a
I'm
lot of
just
old shows.
older.
I need
So
to
I'll
watch The
mention
Sopranos
2
still.
spin-offs. I'll mention 2 spin-offs that I
Frasier.
think were eh. Frasier is a bad spin-off. We didn't need Frasier. The
Sam and
world did
Cat.
not need
Yo, it's Sam and
God,
Cat.
no. God, no. Boston Legal.
Boston Legal.
Boston Legal is just great. It's a spin-off of Ally McBeal.
Never
I
seen
don't
it.
know if you heard of Ally
I've
McBeal
never
back
seen
in the
it.
day. It was like a HBO show. Robert Downey Jr. was even on it.
William Shatner.
But yeah, Boston Legal starred William Shatner. That was kind of its pull. But like what they found during the show is that James Spader just
Yes, you were talking about
stole the
James Spader
show.
like 10 minutes ago.
Right. He just stole the show. The other spin-off that I think is worth just like the memes is go check out Angel.
Angel sounds really familiar. Oh, I type in
You
Angel TV show. I always do that.
you're not sharing either. I'm not
Am I
seeing.
not sharing? Oh, it's because my Wi-Fi died. That's what happened.
Yeah, there we go.
Can I see my screen? Can pull it back. Oh my god! Fucking hell! My desktop. There we go. Uh,
Angel
is it a
is
spinoff of
spin-off
Buffy?
of Buffy.
I
Yep.
have not seen Buffy. I need to see Buffy. Buffy's one of those
No,
shows that
you
I need to
don't.
see. I need to see Buffy.
It's made by Joss Whedon.
I know. I need to see it.
Here's the problem though, right? All of the remasters of Buffy were done in the worst possible way. Either fucking up the lighting, making midnight look like midday, or cutting out like pieces of the screen with important things on them. So the remaster of Buffy is actively one of the worst fucking
I need to see
things to
Buffy. I
watch.
need to see Buffy's one of those shows that is
But
just like I need to see Buffy, I need to see House, I need to see The Sopranos, and there was one in my head that I just forgot. What was it? What did I want to watch? What was it that I wanted to watch? It was just in my head. Vampire Diaries. Whatever the one. It was the one you like.
no,
No, it was the one you like. Was the one you like True Blood? Was that
True
it?
Blood,
True Blood.
True
That's the one you
Blood.
like. Not Vampire Diaries.
Don't
Fuck.
fucking talk
I'm not
about
watching
Vampire
Vampire
Diaries.
Diaries. I meant True Blood.
Vampire Diaries is the TV equivalent of Twilight.
Yeah, I know. I know. I got the wrong name.
It's
I need to see True
actively
Blood. That's the
like
one you like. True Blood.
True Blood is good.
Those
There's
are the
like
four shows I need to see.
like True
Buffy,
Blood to me
Buffy,
holds a
True Blood,
special place
Sopranos, and
because
House.
for all of True Blood's faults, right? For all of True Blood's faults, it just it has these fantastic
Oh, and
moments.
Supernatural's first few seasons.
5 seasons. That's it. No further. 6 and 7 if you like the five a lot, but you will know when to stop. But either way, True Blood, for all of its faults, for all of the things that it does wrong, for everything bad about True Blood, still fucking love this series.
Look at that
All 7
cast!
seasons.
Brrrr. Condense this, Wikipedia. What the fuck? I've never
Yeah,
seen a
I mean,
Wikipedia
there's one
cast
actor
listing
here.
this
I
long.
will
Jesus.
shout out one actor here specifically. Wait, stop scrolling. I want to see
Ah!
the name. Dennis O'Hare.
I'll find it.
Thank God I'm a speed reader because that was
Where is
fast.
found
Shout
it.
out to this guy.
He looks familiar. What is he in?
He was also in American Horror
I was about to
Story.
say I need to watch the first I need to see like the standouts of American Horror Story, like the standout seasons.
Yeah, the first 3, 4 seasons. He was in those, and I will tell you, he in True Blood. Oh my goodness, he wrecks shit in True Blood.
Outdoor House. Carbon.
Season
Great show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's a
It's
regular.
still
He's a
going?
regular.
Do people even watch this show anymore? That looks like shit. Kim Kardashian and Emma Roberts. That's nightmarish.
That is nightmarish. Maybe that's the horror
Yeah,
of
the
Kim
horror is
Kardashian.
watching Emma Roberts and fucking Kim Kardashian.
What's Emma Roberts' issue?
It says she's
Her name was Red.
uh
What's her fucking problem?
I don't know. I guess she did something bad. I don't know. She's an Instagram person, I think. I don't know. Good teen model. I don't know what the fuck she is. I don't know. I see words
She's
on
an
here and I'm
actress.
saying, what is she? What is she? What even does
An
she do?
actress.
What's she known for?
She's
Like, what
like
is she known for? Scream 4? We Are the
she's like in We're
Millers?
the Murderers. She's an actress. She's just a mid-level mid
Madam
actress. Like
Web! Ah!
you're like, what is she known for? It's like that's her day job. She is just an actress. Not a great one, but
She played Mary Parker and Emma Roberts. In Emma Roberts, she played Mary Parker in at Madam Web. This movie's fucking stupid.
Ben Parker's pregnant sister-in-law.
Yeah, this is Peter Parker's mom. Peter Parker is you see the Peter Parker birth scene in this
Emma
movie.
Roberts played Peter Parker. I'm sick of this world.
This movie is dog shit. This might be the worst movie of the year.
Madam Web.
Madam
Well,
Web.
I'll avoid it then.
This movie might be the worst
I
superhero
don't
movie
I don't
also ever
mean to
made.
say this about like Dakota
Oh no,
Johnson.
Dakota Johnson is completely phoning it in this whole movie, and it's amazing. It's the best
No,
part of the
no, but
movie.
here's the thing: is like like Dakota Johnson just doesn't seem to be in good movies.
No,
Like
she's
I'm not
not.
this.
She
It's not
fired
even
her
a
agent after this
criticism of her
movie.
acting. It's not a criticism of her acting because I have seen like some of her scenes in some movies because I follow movies, but
I'm not saying a good movie. Oh, she's
she,
in the
she,
Suspiria remake. I don't think that was that bad.
yeah, but like she's just generally not in good movies. Like
No. No. Bad times at the
it's
El
it's
Royale.
it's unfortunate. Is it a question of luck? Because it's not a skill issue, as far as I can tell. She's a fair actress. She's
Her former
like
stepfather
probably,
is Antonio
I'd
Banderas.
probably, I don't know.
Uh,
Melanie Griffith looks rough.
oh my god! This
She
looks like
looks like a fucking alligator suitcase.
that's an amazing fucking comparison. She looks like a family member I'd have who'd like I'd like flinch whenever they like come into give your old auntie a kiss, and I'm like, hello. Oh god,
Oh
yeah,
my
Madam
god.
Web's horrible. I love the interview Dakota Johnson did where like her like agent or whatever the fuck decorated her house and put a bunch of limes everywhere, and so she lied and said that she really liked limes. I thought that interview was good.
So like, I know you're not good with names and you're not good with
I'm
all of
horrible
these
with
people,
names
but
and
like,
faces.
is there an actor or actress like that is notable for you to the point of like you will always, it's like, I don't know, like no, who's notable to you then? Who do you remember?
Who do I remember?
Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
It'll always come back to him.
Willem Defriend.
Willem Defriend. It'll always come back to him. But if we're being serious though, Samuel L. Jackson's another one. I always think
Jackson's a good
Samuel L.
one.
Jackson, Tom Hanks.
You.
Well, I don't like. I'm just thinking of actors that I always remember. Like I never
He is
fucking
notable, I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
uh
motherfucker's been going
Johnny
since the
Depp.
80s.
Johnny Depp.
Depp.
Uh, I don't know, man. Like who do I like? What do I? I don't know how to answer this question. Like it's not one that I can really answer out of
Well,
my head. It's just
I'll tell you ones that I think should get more credit. Christopher Walken.
I do know his face all the time, and didn't he like kill
Yeah.
someone, or is it implicit in like a murder of someone's wife?
I don't know, he's a dancer.
Christopher Walken.
Why would he kill somebody? He's a dancer.
My name is Christopher Walken. I thought he was like this one, yes. On November 29th, 1981, Walken was with Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner on Wagner's yacht in the night Wood went missing and was ultimately found dead drowning. Walken was not considered suspicious by the authorities. The case was reopened in 2011, and Walken was once again not considered. Yeah, he was like this whole thing was a little suspicious and fishy when
I
the Natalie
mean,
Wood disappearance. Wait, internet just died again. Hello, can you hear me?
could you...
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? My
Hello? I can
Wi-Fi
hear
died a bit.
you. Okay, well, Christopher Walken, I believe, you know, even if he did kill somebody, could you tell us, like, ah, they were in the water? I don't know.
Who knows?
I just think that he's a very he's forgotten about now.
I'm an old washed-up actor. My name is Christopher Walken. I know. I don't want to talk about Christopher Walken. He made my Wi-Fi die.
No, he did kill the
I
Wi-Fi.
want to
Will him
talk
defend.
about. I want to talk about Donald Trump's brain melting. Hold on.
It's getting bad. Before we do get to Donald,
Yeah.
Kamala had an
No, I
interview
want
on
to talk about this.
Fox.
Fuck you. We can talk about the Kamala. We can talk about the Kamala interview real quick. I don't have much to say on it
I
because I didn't
mean,
watch it.
yeah, I didn't have much to say about VHS.
Yeah, go off, Queen.
No, but like, I watched about 20 minutes of this, and you know what really was the thing that struck me the most?
What was it?
The phrasing of just the immediate first questions, right?
What were the immediate
Because
first question?
the first question was, Kamala, could you tell us how many millions you released into our country?
Oh my god, that's such a
Was it
loaded
one
question.
million, 10 million?
That's such a horrible
Just
question.
think about the
So
phrasing of that,
fucking
right? Like all of the phrasing is keyed into forcing the admission of something that isn't factually true because the question on its basis is not factually true.
right.
Like it's
You're
fucking
you're you're
mind blowing.
presupposing it with like an assumption.
Yeah, but like known false assumptions. Like the thing, as far as I understand, this all has to tie back to the fact that Trump was putting people in camps, right?
Right. The the
For
the
being
separation
illegal
camps.
immigrants, being separation camps, all that. And all Kamala did was stop the camps.
Yeah.
And then the way that the right is phrasing this is like, remember, I don't live there. So for a while, I wasn't completely clued in on why the right was so fucking adamant on this, like, released into our country point. But it's like, oh, that's where their logic comes from. You see, even if it's broken logic and they're wrong, understanding where it comes from at least gives you the opportunity to respond to that. And
Yeah.
she had a pretty good response because her response pretty much came down to, like, within hours of taking the oath, they had already had a bill set up for immigration. Like within hours, that was one of the first things. The actual first thing they did was start working on immigration. So you it's just shocking to me that that's how this shit flies. Because when you do see Trump and you do see JD Vance and all of these other right wingers go on Fox, they do just get very much fed. It's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, they
it's the same opinions and talking points over and over and over and over and over again.
Right, but there was also the secondary tactic employed where every time Kamala would be getting to a point, because this stuff takes nuance, right?
Right.
The interviewer, this looked so unprofessional to me, but nobody's gonna call it that. But the interviewer was actively interrupting her while she was
Oh
answering,
my god, that is incredibly
talking
unprofessional.
over her,
That is
talking over somebody who's
that's
running for president in an
here's
interview
here's my
while they
opinion
are
on that.
talking.
That's just misogyny. That's a
Right,
misogyny
but
thing.
but here's the thing, is that now you want to flip it over to Donald Trump. You say you haven't seen the Kamala stuff, so we'll leave that there for now.
Yeah, I do want to
But
watch
now
the
we
Kamala
look over
interview
at Donald
whenever
Trump.
Vosh covers it because I am not
Yeah,
watching that unprotected. I need a condom to go in there, and by the condom, I need Vosh. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Donald Trump.
this
Uh,
is for real.
yeah, this is for real.
This is
he
what
was
40 minutes is a long
he
time.
ended he ended his stuff early and just kind of did this for like 30 minutes. He just did this
For a
for like
proper
30 to
way.
40 minutes.
But this is wild.
Go playing the YMCA nice and loud. He did that for 40 fucking minutes.
That's
He ended it early.
that's unreal.
It is so wild. He just kind of sits there and goes, "Hey."
Okay, okay. Has the right responded?
I think they have. We could probably find it
But
with
yet,
a let's see. Is there a fucking New York Post article on it? Yeah, here. Oh wait, holy shit. Here are 3 reasons why I'm not voting. Oh, why I'm voting for Trump. Okay, sorry. From the New York Post. This isn't anything to do with the dancing on stage though. Yeah, no, they just don't talk about it.
the right wing is just not like the right hasn't got
They're just like,
any.
yeah, no, it's okay. That's an okay thing to do. Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. Trump
I
is
really
silly.
don't. This has kind of broken me. This half your country. Because here's one of the other questions that was asked of Kamala during that interview was, you know, presupposing. So this is coming from the interviewer who's on Fox, right? He's obviously
Right.
right wing. He says, presupposing that you're right and Trump is like the worst thing for our country right now, then why are half the people wanting to vote for him? Why are half the people supporting him? Are they just stupid? Because remember, Trump's rhetoric is very much about like, oh, the people that don't vote for me are idiots.
Right.
And Kamala was like, I would never say that of the American people. I would never like call them stupid. But she never actually answered, like, even vaguely, why they might be supporting Trump.
It's because they're stupid.
But that's the thing, though, is that these aren't
Well,
necessarily
the
stupid people. Some of them
the
are
real
evil.
reason why
Some of
people
them are
support
evil.
Trump. The real
Some
reason
of them are
why
evil.
people
Let's
support
just say
Trump.
that.
Yeah, some are evil. A good like maybe like a fourth of them are just evil. They're evil people.
That's a
Half of
lot.
them are really stupid. And then like a fourth of them are incredibly stupid. Like more than like is needed to be considered stupid. All of them are stupid to varying degrees. Now, the reason why I feel people vote for Trump is because of it is a mixture of ignorance, like a degree of separation from like reality, you know, like or like they just like a person who lives in the suburbs their whole life never interacts with anyone who isn't like middle class, like upper middle class, like gets everything they need. They don't really have any ever issues ever. They didn't like that inflation went up during the pandemic and they blame that on Biden because they don't know anything about economics.
Mm.
They don't like hearing about politics in the news and they fall for the idea of
Trump also claims that during his
division.
presidency, inflation never went up at all.
Yeah, no, he just lies. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
These people don't pay attention to politics, so they just hear the lies, and because they don't know the truth, they just assume it's true. And then because they consume only one type of media, they just never hear the actual truth. They just consistently listen to Fox News and read the New York Post and shit. So like they don't know anything else. And the reason why they only consume those news articles is because those are the ones that get pumped out the most because there's a lot of money behind it. And also every other
I
news media organization, the New York Times, Washington Post,
I
they're
feel
also
like
all in support of Trump. They
that's the
all want
thing,
Trump
though,
to
is that
win.
the news seems to feel to me like the news itself is politicized.
Yeah, the news companies in America are all right wing. All of them are right wing,
No,
and even the
well,
ones that aren't right wing are still like
it,
pretty bad on some like
what I'm
issues in a
saying
right wing
is
way,
that
like Israel.
news, well, in theory, news should be about like what the facts are out there, what
But
is
it's
really
always
happening.
skewed.
But that's the thing is that it doesn't need to be because like this is what happens when we make business out of news, right? Because
Yes,
what happens next? It has to be for profit. Once
right.
it's for profit,
Now
it
it's now
becomes
becomes interest of the capital class,
right.
and
Now, when it
therefore
becomes an interest of the capital,
then news gets
uh,
skewed. There are agendas and narratives that get pushed more so than others. Defense over certain atrocities will happen because that's in defense of certain things. Some things get downplayed, like climate change gets downplayed, or a war will get downplayed because that's
40 minutes of
yeah
dancing.
yeah 40 minutes of dancing for the political candidate that they want to win looking bad. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like,
Um, yeah. We
I
gotta
think,
wrap up the podcast soon though, because Max needs attention. I can hear him whining.
all right. Well,
We've been going for an hour 25.
these episodes are getting long now.
They are.
This is good.
Yeah, they are good. Well,
Just like when the internet doesn't die.
yeah. That's also definitely putting me out of a mood for fucking continuing.
I can understand.
Yeah. Um,
Thanks for watching.
yeah, thank you everyone for watching despite all the internet issues that I've been having today. I'm sure there'll be a lot of awkward cuts. I'm sorry if any of the cuts are really jarring. The internet was pretty bad today. It dropped like 4 times, whatever the fuck, I don't know.
We'll just,
I hope everyone enjoyed. This might have been a bit of a messy episode. I'm sorry about that. Um, they're not all bad.
oh,
They're not all bad. Uh, if you enjoyed,
resounding
please check out our other
endorsement
stuff
of the
as well.
show.
We like making other things like Twitch streams. That's cool, right?
Yeah, I
Jade,
like
would you
that.
like to say goodbye?
I would like to say, have a lovely morning, evening, day, or night, wherever you are. Have a good one.
And I will say the same thing to you. Have a good night. Bye bye, everyone.